Hey everyone, I know there's been a lot of talk about Nvidia's stock split. Now that's made the stock more affordable to more investors who did not have access to fractional share buying. But in this video, I wanted to take a closer look into the company's financial statements. Every quarter, Nvidia reports a 10Q statement, and that's what I'm going to dive a little bit deeply into in this video to look at the company's financial performance. So follow along and let's take a look.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
Alright, so in its financial statement, the company provided a summary of its performance so far. And in the latest quarter, which ended on April 28th for Nvidia, the company demonstrated excellent growth in revenue. 26 billion in revenue. That was up from just 7.192 billion in revenue in the same quarter last year, for an increase of 262%. It was also up by 18% from the previous quarter when they reported 22.1 billion. Nvidia's revenue has absolutely exploded. Now, the company did also report a jump in operating income, 16.9 billion in the most recent quarter. That was up from just 2.14 billion in the same time the previous year. That's an increase of 690%. Excellent growth for a company of this magnitude. You rarely see this level of growth. That's an increase of nearly more than 8x, right? So if you look at operating profit margin, and that is dividing this operating income by this revenue, so 16.9 billion divided by the 26 billion, you'll notice that Nvidia is among the leaders of any business in the world in terms of operating profit margin. The only business I know of that's ahead of Nvidia in this metric is Visa, and Visa has the best out of any company that I follow. So Nvidia is not only generating strong revenue, but those revenues are leading to increasing profit margin. And that's something that's critically important if you're following an investment. You want the revenue to lead to increasing profits. Growth in revenue, not all that exciting unless it leads to growth in profit. Anyone can generate sales if you're willing to sell your product at a price that's so low that it doesn't even generate profit. You could take a product that's worth $100, sell it for $20, and you'll get a lot of sales, but you'll lose a lot of money, and that's not a sustainable business. Surprisingly, there are a lot of companies in the world just like that, selling their products at prices so low that it generates sales, but it's also generating significant losses on the bottom line, which of course is not a sustainable business model longer term. Nvidia also breaks down its revenue for investors for its different segments, and its data center revenue was up 427% from a year ago. Data center compute revenue was up 478% from a year ago. So these are the segments that house its artificial intelligence business. And these increases reflect higher shipments of the Nvidia Hopper GPU computing platform, which is used for training and inferencing large language models, recommendation engines, and generative AI applications. This is what's driving Nvidia's phenomenal growth, this segment of the business. As we'll see a little later, the rest of the business is not growing anywhere near these levels. This is the part of the business that's really driving overall growth for Nvidia. The large cloud providers continue to drive growth as they deploy and ramp Nvidia AI infrastructure at scale, representing 40% of their data center revenue. The large cloud providers include Amazon with AWS, Microsoft with Azure, and Google with its Google Cloud. Those are the businesses driving nearly 40% of Nvidia's data center revenue as they are building out their infrastructure, and then they're using it themselves, but they're also selling it to other businesses, incorporating it within their cloud business. So they're making money off of Nvidia's GPUs. So they're happy to spend money on Nvidia's GPUs because it's leading to increases in revenue for Nvidia. The automotive segment, as I highlighted earlier, the rest of its business not growing anywhere near these levels, was only up by 11% from a year ago. And the increase was driven primarily by self-driving platforms. You've probably heard publicized that Tesla has been purchasing these products from Nvidia. Lucid was another automotive company purchasing Nvidia's GPUs. So these companies are investing in Nvidia's GPUs, trying to develop this self-driving technology, which is still in early days. I've been saying for several quarters now that that could be the next leg of growth for Nvidia when this AI build slows down, which is not happening this year. It's probably not going to slow down next year, but probably starting 2026, the growth in artificial intelligence spending is likely to slow down considerably after these surges in 2023, 2024, and 2025. The next leg, starting in 2026, could be self-driving. If the technology develops as is forecasted, self-driving platforms could really ramp up spending on Nvidia GPUs and lead to another leg of growth for Nvidia a couple of years later. Imagine that. After a surge from artificial intelligence for cloud computing and developing large language models, imagine Nvidia getting another boost from self-driving and another similar surge in revenue. Now, I'm not forecasting such a surge, but it is on the horizon. It's a non-zero chance that Nvidia will capitalize on that opportunity later on down the road, which would be incredible for Nvidia stock investors. Nvidia goes on to provide some market platform highlights, and they estimate that inferencing drove about 40% of their data center revenue. They also unveiled their Nvidia Blackwell platform, their next generation GPU architecture for the new era of AI computing at a trillion parameter scale for generative AI supercomputing. Those are going out as we speak, and they'll be implemented, they'll be installed in the second, third, and fourth quarter. They're shipping them out in the second quarter. They'll likely start installs in the third and fourth quarter, and that's going to be the next leg of growth for Nvidia. But before even that gets old, they already announced the successor to the Blackwell platform, the Rubin platform, and that's going to drive growth further. So Nvidia really getting ahead of the game here in terms of their innovation. And they also announced that 9 new supercomputers worldwide are using the Grace Hopper superchips to ignite a new era of AI supercomputing. Nvidia, without a doubt, the leader in this field. They have the best of the best. And if you want the best of the best, you go with Nvidia. That's driving significant market share for Nvidia. That's why you're noticing the surge in revenue, the explosion in profitability. That's why Nvidia's stock price has increased as much as it has. And that's why so many investors are interested in Nvidia stock. A really excellent business that's driving significant growth. If you weren't already aware, I've had Nvidia stock rated as one of my top stocks to buy in 2024, and I've kept it on the list all year long as I've seen performance to justify the stock price increase. Did you know that over 90% of the people that watch my channel are not subscribed? It'll really help support my channel if you hit that subscribe button. And oh, by the way, one of the benefits of being subscribed is that I take requests from subscribers more often than I do from non-subscribers. So if you prefer that benefit, please subscribe to the channel.